from anyone in the industry. But let's keep the analysis rolling here, fellas. Let's go to Derrick Henry here. He's going ADP 25 overall, good for RB10. Ethan, tell me where you're at on Henry and if you're in or out at this price point.
As I said, if I am going running back in round one, I do like to hit receiver pretty heavy after that. But just looking at it, everything holistically, I don't think the 301 is a bad price to pay for Derrick Henry, who we could see have 15 plus touchdowns easily this year, which I predict he will have over 15 touchdowns. Gus Edwards last year had 13, which was 4 in the league. But I just think you just have a lot of upside with Derrick Henry at the 301. I mean, he's going to be playing a much more efficient offense. You know, Lamar Jackson back there. Yeah, Lamar Jackson's going to steal some carries, maybe steal some stuff around the goal line, but it's also a player that defenses have to react to, which Derrick Henry may see increased running lanes that he wasn't used to seeing in Tennessee. So I'm very excited for Derrick Henry this year, and I do think he has a chance to have a monster season. He did have his lowest yards per rushing attempt, 4.2 of his career, and then also his lowest yards after contact per attempt, which is 3.32 since taking over as a full-time starter in the league. But he is turning 31 this year. So, I mean, you do have the risk of, hey, is the cliff coming for Derrick Henry? I mean, Derrick Henry is like the superhuman running back. I mean, but at some point, Father Time always wins. So is this going to be the year, or is he going to be a bell cow RB1 on a very efficient offense?
Wyatt, are you taking a stab at the superhuman that is Derrick Henry at this price point?
I haven't been a lot. I like the positional ADP he has, RB10. I think that's right. The overall ADP is where I struggle. He's at a point in which I think that the wide receivers start to fall off to a point where I want to make sure I'm taking one there, and that's why I just end up not drafting a lot of Derrick Henry. It is scary though, because he is Derrick Henry. He is an absolute animal, going to possibly the best offensive system and surroundings he's ever been in. Despite him being, advanced age for running back, I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually matter for him. It would not. If Derrick Henry's playing at 35, is anyone going to be surprised? I don't think we should be.
No way.
He's an absolute animal. So it's scary to pass on him. So it's really just a structure thing for me. I got no problem against Derrick Henry. It's just the way my drafts have been going. I don't find myself drafting him very often. Now, let's say you draft second overall, whatever, you take CeeDee Lamb, you take another wide receiver on the way back, and third round Derrick Henry is there. Now we're looking pretty with that pick right there. I think that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I hear you on that too. And usually I'm a guy who I start to fade. I almost treat it like Dynasty, where I fade guys that are really aging, guys who have really, really high mileage on them. And Henry kind of checks both boxes. I think he'll be 30 for the entirety of this season. He's also got over 2,300 career touches if you count regular season and playoffs. So I usually fade those things, but I actually find myself being in on him here at this price point. I just don't think he's at a point where a lot of other guys, when they get to this type of workload on them, start to fall off. I mean, last year, despite running behind Pro Football Focus's 32nd, so dead last, ranked offensive line, he was still top 10 among running backs in evaded tackles, breakaway run rate, rushing yards per game, and total touchdowns. So, he still did it. The signs of him wearing down aren't quite there yet. We know he can handle a big workload. And stepping into Baltimore, I mean, Ethan mentioned they wanted to pound the rock. In fact, last year, they were number one in rushing attempts, number one in rushing yards, and number 3 as a team in yards per carry. Totally get that Lamar Jackson factors into that too and plays a role. So I'm just not as worried about Lamar stealing everything. I actually think with Henry back there, they're more inclined to give him more of the workload and take some of that off Lamar, who suffered with injuries in the past sometimes when he takes on too much here. Ethan, we'll let you put the bow on this one, my man. Are you at all worried about Henry's, past at all catching up to him, or are you kind of just using that track record as a reason to justify taking a shot at him here at the 2-3 turn?
I think his track record justifies taking him here. And that's why I said, especially if you're going receiver, and he's your RB1 in the third round. I just saw something that came out that Derrick Henry spends $250,000 on his body every single year. So this guy is maybe play till 40. You never know. But Derrick Henry is clearly motivated, I think, and to be playing in an offense like Baltimore. I think that they obviously have Super Bowl aspirations. So Derrick Henry, I think we're going to see a big year from him if he does stay healthy. So I'm not too concerned about
Need
Derrick Henry
help
right now.
with your research for your specific league, there's a way to reach out to us. I mean, you can check us out on the Did It app. That's DIDIT. You can check them out on X at Get Did It. That's at GETDIDIT. Essentially, what that is it's a means for you to set up a FaceTime call with one of us here at Sunday Surefire. It's a pay per minute platform. For us, it's only $1 a minute, and we can give you any type of advice what you want, whether it's a dynasty league, redraft, best ball, whatever the case may be. We're ready to go 24/7. We're always on there. Shoot us a DM. We'll set up a time that works for you to get on there and talk. We'll send you notes about your team and notes about what we discussed, so you don't have to kind of worry about jotting things down while the conversation's going on. We'll take care of that part of it for you. And the best part about Did It, guys, is that your first call is free. So you really got nothing to lose by trying it out. Like, so just download the app. It's for iOS users only at the moment, but it's a growing platform out there to get customized fantasy advice. As much as the generic advice is good, it's always better to when you can get an analyst, one of us, to look at your specific team and talk about your specific needs and carve out a winning strategy in 2024 and beyond.